The flames devoured the check in a savage roar, $38 million curling into black ash on the kitchen table like the death of a dream. "This poison ends with you, old man," Dad spat at the empty air, his voice cracking like dry timber under the weight of decades unspoken. Alex watched from the shadowed hallway, heart slamming against his ribs, knowing those words weren't just for Grandpa. They were a blade aimed straight at him. Alex froze in the dim glow of the porch light filtering through the screen door, the acrid smoke from the fireplace clawing at his throat. It was the summer of 2015 in rural Nebraska, where the endless flatlands stretched like a canvas of forgotten promises, and the air always carried the faint tang of earth after rain. He'd come home from Chicago unannounced, suitcase in hand, chasing a ghost of reconciliation after 3 years of radio silence. But this bonfire of inheritance was no welcome mat. Dad, broad-shouldered and weathered at 58, stood there in his faded John Deere cap, eyes red-rimmed not from the fire but from something fiercer, regret or maybe just plain spite. The check had arrived that morning, crisp and official from Grandpa Harlan's estate lawyers in Omaha. Harlan Whitaker, the family patriarch who'd built a feed empire from nothing in the Dust Bowl days, had passed quietly in his sleep at 92. No fanfare, no tearful goodbyes, just a will that upended everything. Alex had idolized the old man, the one who'd slipped him a 20 during church sermons and whispered, "Be true to your North Star, kid." When Dad wasn't looking, Harlan knew. He'd always known about Alex's secrets, the ones that made high school hallways feel like minefields. Dad hurled the envelope into the flames next, the thick vellum catching like tinder. "Blood money," he muttered, pacing the linoleum floor worn smooth by 40 years of boots. "He thinks he can buy his way into this family after what he did?" Alex's stomach twisted. What he did. Harlan had been the glue, the one who'd bailed Dad out of debt in the 90s when the farm nearly folded. But grudges in Whitaker blood ran deeper than aquifers. Stepping into the kitchen, Alex cleared his throat, voice barely above the crackle. "Dad? What the hell are you doing?" Robert Whitaker whirled, face flushing crimson under the fluorescent bulb. "Alex? Christ, boy, you scared the life out of me." His eyes darted to the fireplace, then back, hardening. "This ain't your business." "It is if it's my inheritance too." Alex's pulse thrummed. He'd seen the figure. $38 million split between them, enough to rewrite their lives. Dreams of art school in the city, of a life beyond cornstalk sentinels, flickered like the dying embers. Dad barked a laugh bitter as black coffee. "Inheritance? That old bastard cut you out years ago. This was mine, and I don't want his strings attached." He jabbed a finger at the ashes. "Burned it. Done." Alex's world tilted. Cut out? Grandpa had promised him the world in those porch swing confessions, back when Alex was 19 and trembling after his first kiss with a boy from the county fair. "You're my legacy, Alex," Harlan had said, eyes twinkling like stars over the Platte River. Not silos or spreadsheets. Now poof, gone. But beneath the shock, a colder fear bloomed. Dad knew. About Chicago, about the life Alex had carved in Boys Town bars and gallery openings. The silence between them had been a mercy. This was war. "You burned it," Alex echoed, stepping closer, the heat from the fire licking his skin. $38 million. For what? Pride. Dad's jaw clenched, veins bulging in his neck. Pride? He disrespected this family. Wrote me out of his life like I was trash. Then dangles this at the end? No, we stand on our own here. He turned away, grabbing a beer from the fridge, the clink of the bottle echoing like a gavel. Alex's mind raced. Disrespected? Harlan had adored Dad, even when Robert's temper flared over crop yields or church gossip. There was a story there, buried under layers of stoic Midwestern bullshit. "What did he do, Dad? Tell me. Get out." Dad's voice was low, dangerous. "Go back to your whatever it is you do in that godforsaken city." The slur hung unspoken, but Alex felt it like a slap. He grabbed his jacket from the chair, storming out into the muggy night. Crickets chorused in the fields, a mocking symphony. driving aimlessly down gravel roads, headlights cutting swaths through the dark. Alex pulled over near the old Whitaker Creek. His phone buzzed. A text from Jamie, his on again, off again in Chicago. Miss you already. Come home? Jamie Ellis, with his easy smile and architect's hands. The one who'd held Alex through the coming out fallout. But home? Nebraska clawed at him now, a hook in his gut. By dawn, Alex was back at the farmhouse, eyes gritty from a sleepless night in his truck. Dad was in the barn, tinkering with the tractor, pretending normalcy. Alex cornered him there, amid the scent of hay and motor oil. I'm not leaving till you explain. The will. There's more to it. Dad wiped grease from his hands, avoiding his son's gaze. Lawyers called. There's a codicil, some property up in the sandhills. Harlan's old cabin. Deeded to you. Alex blinked. The cabin? Harlan's retreat, where he'd taken Alex fishing as a kid, spinning yarns of prohibition runners and lost loves. Why me? 'Cause he was soft on you. Dad spat into the dirt. Always was. Soft. The word twisted like barbed wire. Alex had come out to Grandpa first, in that very cabin, tears streaming as Harlan pulled him into a bear hug. Love ain't a sin, son. It's the only holy thing. Dad had never known, or so Alex thought. That afternoon, they drove north in Dad's battered Ford, the tension thick as humidity. The sandhills rolled like ocean waves of grass, dunes sculpted by wind and time. The cabin squatted on a bluff overlooking a hidden lake, cedar logs silvered by years, porch sagging but defiant. Inside, dust motes danced in sunbeams, and on the kitchen table sat a locked strongbox, Harlan's scrawl on the lid. For Alex, when you're ready. Dad lingered at the door, uneasy. This is yours now. Sell it if you want. Get your fancy city life. Alex's fingers trembled on the lock. A key dangled from a nail, simple, rusted. Inside, not gold, but letters. Hundreds. Yellowed envelopes tied with twine. And at the bottom, a photo. Grandpa Young, arm around a man in a pinstripe suit, both grinning under Chicago streetlights, 1940s. The man, dark-haired, sharp-jawed, looked achingly familiar. Who's this? Alex asked, holding it up. Dad's face drained of color. Put that away. But Alex read the inscription. Harlan and Elias, forever chasing stars. 1947. Elias. The name hit like lightning. Grandpa's old army buddy. The one he'd mentioned in whispers. But the photo screamed more, hands intertwined, eyes locked in a gaze that spanned oceans. Dad bolted for the door. We're done here. No. Alex blocked him, voice steady for the first time. Tell me about Elias. The silence stretched, broken only by the wind rattling shutters. Finally, Dad sank into a creaky chair, head in hands. He was everything to your grandpa. They met in the war, came home thinking the world had changed. It hadn't. Folks talked. Harlan sent him away to protect the farm. The name broke him. Alex's breath caught. Harlan, gay? The pieces shattered and reformed. The knowing smiles, the North Star advice. You knew. Dad nodded, voice raw. Found letters after Mom died. Burned them all but one. Harlan guessed about you, tried to make amends with that check. Pay for my failures. But I couldn't take it. Not after he chose Elias over us. Betrayal bloomed in Alex's chest. Not at Grandpa, but at the lies they'd all swallowed. He didn't choose. He survived. That night, back at the farm, Alex pored over the letters by lantern light. Harlan's words to Elias were poetry. Raw, aching. The fields here swallow me whole, but your shadow lingers in every row. Wait for me, love. One day the world will bend. Elias's replies, smuggled via cousins. Stars are brighter in Chicago, but colder without you. Come claim your inheritance, me. By morning, Alex knew he had to find Elias. If he was alive at 98, he held the key to healing fractures wider than the Missouri. Dad watched from the kitchen, coffee untouched. Don't chase ghosts, son. They don't pay the bills. This isn't about money, Alex said, packing the photo. It's about truth. As he gunned the truck toward Omaha, then east on I-80, the horizon mocked him, endless, unforgiving. Chicago waited, Jamie too. But this pull was primal. Elias Kane, last known address a faded postmark, Boys Town. Alex's world, unknowingly woven with Harlan's. The city hit like a fever dream, skyscrapers clawing the sky, horns blaring defiance. He crashed at Jamie's loft, the one with exposed brick and views of Lake Michigan. Jamie, sensing the storm in Alex's eyes, pulled him close without questions. "Talk when you're ready," he murmured, lips brushing Alex's temple. That night, tangled in sheets, they didn't make love, just held on, breaths sinking like a lifeline. Jamie was the steady one, a 28-year-old architect with laugh lines already etching his face from too many late nights drafting dreams. They'd met at a gallery opening 2 years back, Alex's abstract paintings of Nebraska skies catching Jamie's eye. "You paint loss like it's beautiful," Jamie had said, and Alex had fallen hard. But now ghosts intruded. Over breakfast, black coffee and bagels. Alex spilled it all. The burn check, the cabin, the letters. Jamie listened. Fork paused mid-air. "You're serious? Your grandpa was like us. More than that. He loved fiercely, and it cost him everything." Alex slid the photo across the table. Jamie studied it, then met Alex's gaze. "Then find him. For both of you." They scoured records that week, libraries, online archives, nursing homes. Elias Kane, World War II vet, architect, irony not lost. A hit, Pinecrest retirement in Evanston, 97 years young. Alex's heart stuttered. Alive. The drive north was quiet, Jamie's hand on Alex's knee the only anchor. Pinecrest smelled of antiseptic and faded lavender. Hallways echoing with wheelchairs and half-remembered tunes. Room 214. Elias, frail but sharp-eyed, silver hair haloed by window light. "Mr. Kane." Alex's voice cracked. "I'm Alex Whitaker, Harlan's grandson." Elias's eyes, blue as Harlan's, widened. He clutched the bed rail, breath hitching. "Harlan's boy? The one he wrote about?" Alex nodded, unfolding the letters. Elias's fingers, gnarled but gentle, traced the ink. Tears carved tracks down weathered cheeks. He kept them. All this time. They talked for hours. Elias's voice a gravelly melody of what-ifs. Harlan had visited once, in '68, under cover of a business trip. They'd walked Chicago's shores, hands brushing in the dark. "He said he'd come back," Elias whispered. "But the farm. Your dad." "Robert," Alex supplied. "He burned the check. Thought it was tainted." Elias chuckled, weak but warm. "Foolish boy. Harlan's fortune was never paper. It was us. The love we hid. The lives we built in shadows." He pressed a key into Alex's palm. "My attic. Boxes. For you." Back in the city, Jamie helped haul them down. Sketches, photos, a life parallel to Harlan's. Elias had designed bridges, homes, but his true art was letters, blueprints of the heart. One envelope, sealed with wax. To Robert. "Forgive the old man who couldn't say goodbye." Inside, Harlan's confession. "Son, I hid Elias because I feared losing you. But love doesn't divide. It multiplies. Alex carries it now. Let him teach you." Alex wept then, Jamie holding him as sobs shook the loft. Betrayal's sting softened. Dad's anger a shield for his own buried grief. "Call him," Jamie urged. "Bring him here." But Dad's line rang to voicemail. "Farms for sale. Heading west. Don't follow." The words gutted Alex. Gone? After everything? The sandhills whispered secrets as Alex drove back alone. Jamie staying to tie up work. Wind sculpted dunes into fleeting shapes. Ghosts of buffalo herds long vanished. Much like the truths the Whitakers had buried. Dad's voicemail looped in his mind. Farms for sale. It wasn't just land. It was Mom's rose arbor, Grandpa's tool shed. The swing where Alex had first dreamed of boys' hands in his. Selling it meant erasure. Omaha's sprawl gave way to nothing, radio static hissing like accusations. Alex pulled over at a roadside diner, neon sign flickering "Eat" in defiant red. Inside, truckers hunched over pie, the waitress with a name tag Darlene, pouring coffee like elixir. He ordered eggs, but they stuck in his throat. Dialing Dad again, voicemail. "This is Robert. Leave it." "Fuck you," Alex muttered, hanging up, but anger cracked, revealing ache. Dad had raised him solo after Mom's cancer in '02, teaching him to mend fences and face storms. Yet he'd never bridged the chasm of Alex's truth. The letters from Elias painted Harlan as a man torn, loving fiercely, hiding deeper. Was Dad the same? A call from Jamie buzzed. Elias sends his love. And this photo of Harlan at the cabin, 1970s. Smiling. "For you." Attached. Harlan on the porch, younger, with a sketch pad, eyes distant but content. Alex traced the lines. His own artist's eye recognizing the stroke of someone sketching not landscapes, but longing. Back on the road, thunderheads brewed, lightning stitching the sky. Rain lashed the truck as he crested the bluff to the cabin. Felt different now, sacred. Inside, the strongbox yielded more. Harlan's journal, leather-bound, entries in spidery script. 1946, Elias's laugh, first light after bombs. 1952, Robert's birth, a bridge between worlds. 1985, Alex arrives, spitting image of Elias. God's joke or grace? Alex laughed through tears. The resemblance, dark curls, hazel eyes. Elias had noted it too. "Your grandson looks like you, Harlan. Like us. Bloodlines blurred. Love the true vein." But Dad, where? A realtor's sign stabbed the farm's mailbox. Whitaker Acres, prime farmland. Inquire within. Alex's blood ran cold. He raced the 3 miles, tires hydroplaning. The house loomed dark, windows like empty eyes. Porch light off, unheard of. "Dad." Door ajar. Inside, chaos. Drawers yanked, papers strewn. Kitchen table bare, no beer bottles. Upstairs, Dad's room stripped, closet empty, bed made military type. On the dresser, a note, Alex's name in block letters. "Sold it all. Checks ash, farm's gone. Can't pretend anymore. California, maybe vineyards. Don't hate me. Love, Dad. Love." The word mocked from the page. Alex sank to the floor, note crumpling in his fist. Betrayal twice over, burning the future, then fleeing the past. Hours blurred. He woke to dawn, neck kinked, resolve hardening. If Dad ran from ghosts, Alex would chase them down. He spent the day cataloging the farm's remnants. Mom's quilts folded in the attic, Grandpa's war medals in a cigar box. Realtor's number on the sign. Tom Hargrove, chipper voice on the line. "Robert Whitaker?" "Yeah, signed yesterday. Closing next week. Headed to Napa." Said something about starting fresh. Napa. Wine country, sun-drenched hills. A world away from Nebraska's grit. Alex booked a flight, one-way, credit card groaning. Jamie called as he packed. "You're going after him? Alone?" "Have to. This ends with us." A pause. Heavy. "Jamie, I love you. But I know." Jamie's voice softened, laced with hurt. "Go fix your family. I'll be here. Always." The word always lingered like promise or cage. Alex's love for Jamie was steady, a harbor. But this quest stirred something wilder, a romantic pull toward unfinished stories. On the plane, sipping ginger ale, he sketched in his notebook. Dunes as waves, Elias and Harlan dancing in shadows. Art as exorcism. LAX was a beast. Palm trees mocking the heartland's humility. Rental car humming north on 101. Vineyards unfurling like green tapestries. Napa Valley breathed excess. Chateaus perched on hills. Tasting rooms buzzing with tourists in linen. Dad's trail led to a flyer from a local paper. Farmhand wanted, Sonoma County. Experience with soil a must. Whitaker. A vineyard called Red Oak, modest compared to giants. Owner, Maria Ruiz eyed Alex suspiciously over her clipboard. Robert started yesterday. Quiet type. You family? Son. The word tasted foreign. She led him through rows of Cabernet, grapes heavy as secrets. Dad was there, bent over vines, shears snipping with precision. Sweat beaded his brow, cap shadowing eyes that flicked up, surprise, then steel. Alex. Not a question. Dad. Silence stretched, broken by a finch's trill. Maria tactfully vanished. Dad straightened, wiping dirted hands on jeans. How'd you find me? Stubborn. Alex held out the note. Running solves nothing. Neither does digging up graves. Dad's gaze hardened. Go home. To your boyfriend. The word landed like shrapnel. Jamie. His name's Jamie. And you don't get to judge. Not after Elias. Dad recoiled, shears clattering. Elias? You saw him? Talked. For hours. Alex's voice rose, wind carrying it through leaves. He loved Grandpa, deeply, and Harlan loved him back. That's the inheritance, the courage to say it. Dad's face crumpled, not in anger, but defeat. He sank onto a crate, head bowed. I found out when I was 20. Mom pregnant with you. Letters in the barn. Harlan walking funny one night, bruised. Said it was a fall, but I knew. Tracked Elias to a bar in Lincoln, saw them. Kissing in the alley. Alex knelt, hand hovering near Dad's shoulder. Why burn the check? Punishment. Dad's whisper cut. For leaving us. For making me, like this, ashamed. The confession hung, vines trembling in breeze. Alex bridged the gap, hand on Dad's arm. You weren't ashamed of me. Not really. Dad met his eyes, tears carving dust trails. I was terrified of losing you like he lost Elias. So I pushed. Hard. Embrace came fierce, awkward. Father and son, bodies rigid then yielding. Stay, Dad murmured. Help me learn this place. Alex did for a week. Days blurred in vineyard rhythm. Pruning, tasting tart juice, evenings on Maria's porch with fireflies winking approval. Dad opened, haltingly. Stories of Mom's laugh, Harlan's hidden kindnesses. One night, over bourbon, he admitted, saw you with that boy at the fair, 17. Wanted to say, proud. Couldn't. Alex's throat tightened. I know now. But Napa's sun couldn't melt all ice. Calls to Jamie grew sparse, busy with vines. Miss you. Truth, distance bred doubt. Jamie's texts cooled. Take your time. Elias called once, voice frail. Tell Robert Harlan forgave. Always. Climax brewed on a stormy afternoon. Thunder rumbling like judgment. Dad found a letter in Alex's bag, Harlan's to Robert. Read it aloud, voice breaking. Son, Elias was my heart's compass. Alex is yours. Don't burn what you can't replace. Dad handed it back, eyes fierce. You're right. Money's ash. But this, he tapped his chest. This is gold. Yet betrayal's shadow lingered. That night, Alex overheard Dad on the phone with the realtor. Hold the farm sale. Might keep it. Hope surged, then shattered. Dad hung up, spotting Alex. Just checking. Liar. Alex's voice shook. You were gonna sell without me. Dad deflated. Thought you'd stay in Chicago. Your life. My life is here. With you. Figuring it out. But the lie stung. Another layer peeled, revealing Dad's fear of true change. Alex fled to the Cabernet Rose, rain soaking him. Lightning cracked, illuminating vines like veins. He called Jamie, sobbing, I can't fix this alone. Then don't. Jamie's calm pierced the storm. I'm booking a flight. Jamie arrived at Sacramento Airport like a Midwestern squall. Khakis rumpled, duffel slung over shoulder, grin splitting his face despite jet-lag shadows. Alex waited curbside, engine idling, heart a drum solo. One look, and they collided, hug fierce, airport chaos fading to white noise. Missed you, artist boy, Jamie murmured into Alex's hair, breath warm against scalp. Missed you more. Truth bone deep. Driving twisty roads to Sonoma, Jamie's hand claimed Alex's thigh, thumb tracing circles. A map home. They spilled everything. Alex's vineyard confessions, Dad's half-steps toward openness. He's trying, Alex said, voice thick, but trusts a slow pour. Jamie nodded, eyes on rolling hills. Like wine, ferments in dark. Red Oak welcomed them with Maria's tamales and a guest cabin overlooking the crush pad. Dad greeted Jamie stiffly, handshake firm, but gaze appraising. Heard you're building things. Real ones. Jamie chuckled, easy. Yeah, bridges, mostly. Between places. Dinner was tentative. 4 around a scarred oak table, candlelight dancing. Dad grilled Jamie on Chicago skyscrapers, winters that bit. Jamie shared sketches of loft designs, even one incorporating Nebraska motifs. Cornstalk motifs in steel beams. Dad leaned in, interest flickering. Practical. Strong. Alex watched, chest loosening. Laughter bubbled. Jamie mimicking a client meltdown. Dad countering with a tale of Harlan haggling seed prices. For a moment, the table hummed with normalcy. A fragile bridge. But night fell heavy. In the cabin, Jamie pulled Alex close, bodies aligning like puzzle pieces. Kisses deepened, hands exploring with familiar hunger. Not fire, but hearth. I love you, Jamie whispered post-climax, fingers carding sweat-damp hair. All your ghosts included. Love you too. Alex traced Jamie's jaw, Elias's photo on the nightstand a silent witness. But sleep evaded, doubts gnawed. Dad's betrayal, the near-sale, echoed. Was forgiveness a vine or weed? Dawn brought clarity. They joined Dad in the fields, gloves on, baskets filling with Pinot Noir clusters. Jamie's architect, I noted patterns. Rows as grids, soil as foundation. This land tells stories, he said, popping a grape, juice staining lips. Dad grunted approval. Harlan always said that. Ground remembers. Conversation turned, inevitable. Alex broached Elias. He wants to meet you, Dad, before time runs out. Dad's shears paused, grapes dangling. What for? Apologies from a dead man. For you, Alex pressed. To see the man Harlan loved. And forgive yourself. Jamie chimed. My folks didn't speak for years after I came out. Dad showed up at my graduation, no words. Just there. Enough. Dad's silence stretched. Then, call him Elias. The connection from Pinecrest crackled. Elias's voice tinny but vibrant. Robert Whitaker? Harlan's Spitfire. Dad swallowed audibly. Mr. Kane. I read the letter. Good. He meant every word. Pause. Heavy. I loved your father, boy. Not instead of you. Because of you. His strength in raising a son alone. Tears hit Dad's voice. He never said, men like us? Words were dangerous. Elias chuckled. But look at Alex. He says, I'm fine. The call ended with promise. Elias flying out, frail but fierce. Weeks blurred in preparation. Cabin aired. Farm reclaimed from escrow. Dad fought the sale tooth and nail, papers shredded like the check. This stays Whitaker, he declared, eyes on Alex. Ours. Jamie stayed, drafting plans. Expand the cabin into a retreat. Galleries for Alex's art. Guest rooms for wanderers like Elias. Romance wove through labor. Stolen kisses in arbors. Jamie's blueprints annotated with kiss here in margins. One evening, under vineyard stars, Jamie proposed, not ring, but sketch. Their home, hybrid of city loft and country hearth. Build with me. Alex's yes was a vow, sealed with salt and starlight. But conflict crested like a squall. Elias arrived via medevac van, oxygen mask fogging, but eyes alight. Reunion at the cabin. Harlan's photo on mantle, letters fanned like cards. Hugs exchanged, Elias to Alex, tender to Dad. Hesitant. You look like him, Elias said to Dad, cupping his face. Stubborn jaw. Dad's throat bobbed. Sorry. For the hate. Wasn't hate. Elias waved frail hand. Fear. We all carried it. Stories flowed that night, war trenches, stolen nights in foxholes. Harlan's farm dispatches, Elias's Chicago blueprints. Laughter mingled with sobs, wine loosening tongues. Alex sketched it all, Jamie's arm around his waist anchor. Climax shattered at midnight. Dad, 3 glasses deep, unearthed a box from the attic. Letters he'd hidden, not burned. Elias's to Harlan, post-war. Come to me. We'll fight this world together. But one, singed edges. Harlan's reply, intercepted. Can't. Robert needs me. Family first. Elias paled. You kept this? Why? Dad's voice broke. Proof he chose us. Over you. Betrayal's blade twisted. Not just Dad's, but Harlan's silence. The lie of abandonment. Elias rose, unsteady. He chose survival. For all of us. He clutched the letter, crumpling it. But you hoarded pain like a miser. Alex intervened. Hands on both. Stop. This ends tonight. Thunder outside mirrored the storm. Dad fled to the porch, rain sheeting. Alex followed, Jamie and Elias watching from the glow. You lied to yourself, Dad. And to me. Dad gripped the rail, knuckles white. I burned the check to kill the guilt. Thought money would erase it. But Elias, seeing him, forgive. Alex's plea raw. Like he forgave. Lightning forked, illuminating Dad's face. Cracked, open. He pulled Alex close, rain mingling tears. I do. God, I do. Inside, reconciliation bloomed tentative. Dad reading aloud Harlan's unsent words. Elias, my heart beats in your chest. Robert carries my hands. Alex, our future. Elias nodded, peace settling like dust. But dawn brought Elias's collapse, heart faltering, ambulance wailing. At the hospital in Lincoln, monitors beeped dirge. Family gathered. Dad holding Elias's hand, whispering apologies. Jamie squeezing Alex's. Alex reading from the journal, Harlan's voice alive. Elias slipped away at noon. Smile faint. Tell Harlan. Stars aligned. Grief crashed, waves eroding shores. Funeral small, cabin bluff. Harlan's plot beside Mom's. Elias beside, earth mingling loves. Dad spoke. 2 men who loved beyond measure. We honor by living true. Alex's eulogy. Inheritance isn't ash. It's this us woven. Fall painted Napa gold. Leaves surrendering to wind like confessions finally voiced. The farm, no, their home. Stood reclaimed, escrow ashes like Dad's check. Alex and Jamie shuttled between coasts, blueprints evolving. Cabin expanded, a sanctuary for artists and outcasts. Galleries in Omaha showcased Alex's series, Veins of the Plains. Dune abstracts laced with hidden figures, Harlan and Elias etched in shadow. Dad thrived at Red Oak, Maria's right hand, but weekends pulled him east. Vineyard lessons translated. Pruning grudges, cultivating trust. One crisp October day, he arrived unannounced at the cabin site, truck bed loaded with lumber. Can't let you city boys botch the framing, he grumbled, but eyes twinkled. Jamie laughed, handing him a hammer. Wouldn't dream of it, boss. Nails bit wood, rhythm sinking stories. Dad shared more. Mom's secret support for Harlan's friend. Her quiet queerness in bridge club winks. She knew. Loved anyway. Healing wasn't linear. Scars itched. Dad's calls sometimes clipped, old habits surfacing. That Jamie treating you right? Alex countered gentle. Like gold. Trust rebuilt, brick by brick. Romance deepened in quiet corners. Jamie's proposal sketch hung framed in their Chicago loft, annotated with dates. First kiss, Boys Town 13. Vineyard vow, Napa 15. They married spring 16. Small ceremony on the bluff. Dad officiating, awkward but earnest, vowing in plenty and in want, in joy and in sorrow. Rings simple, gold bands etched with stars, for Harlan's North. Honeymoon, road trip, retracing Elias's Chicago paths. Wrigley Field under lights, lakeshore kisses, attics of memory. This is our inheritance, Jamie said, hand in Alex's over skyline. Stories we write. Back home, life rooted. Alex taught art at a community center, young queers finding voice in paint. Jamie's firm boomed, sustainable designs echoing vineyard harmony. Dad visited, bearing pies and progress. Dating a widow from church, slow but open. She's got questions, he'd say. I got answers now. Climax's echo lingered in dreams. Flames, letters, but faded to embers. One winter night, snow blanketing fields, Dad called. Found something in the barn. Harlan's. Alex drove through flurries, Jamie beside. Hidden behind beams. A canvas, dust-caked. Alex's breath caught. Harlan's work, and signed. Two men on a porch swing, silhouettes against sunset, hands linked. Beneath, inscription. For the sons who'll love freely. 1980. Tears blurred. Dad clapped Alex's shoulder. Real fortune. They hung at central hearth of the new cabin. Open house drew kin. Elias's niece from Evanston. Sharing war photos. Maria with Napa vines as gifts. Laughter filled rooms. Once echoing, now alive. Years wove forward. Alex and Jamie adopted. Twin boys, curls like Elias's, eyes like Harlan's. Dad doted, teaching them tractor rides, stories unvarnished. Your great-grandpa loved a man named Elias, he'd say. Taught us love's the deepest root. At 70, Dad retired to the farm, Jamie's eco-cottage addition his nest. Alex's paintings graced walls. Global shows, but heart here. Romance endured. Anniversaries in arbors, graying but gazing same. Humanity's arc bent gentle. No tidy bows, losses scarred, but growth verdant. Inheritance? Not millions, but multiplicity. Love's layered, truths unearthed. A legacy of bending toward light. In the end, as Dad's hands faltered on shears, Alex took them up. We carry it, he said, vines whispering agreement. And under Nebraska stars, family gathered, blood and chosen. Hands linked, forever chasing.